Bryan, do you think the Yankees have done enough this offseason?
They've done a lot. Have they done enough to make themselves World Series favorites? I wouldn't say that, but I do think that let's not underestimate what they've done with Juan Soto, with Alex Verdugo, with Stroman. They've upgraded the outfield. The run production should be better. Stroman's a solid 3 or 4 number starter that they can plug in there. So I would like to see them address the bullpen. I think they subtracted a lot of arms with the trade for Soto and the trade for Verdugo. So if they can add a bullpen arm, Wandy Peralta's still out there, bring him in. But I think that for the most part, the Yankees might be done here for the offseason, ready to get down to Tampa.
I just don't think it's enough, frankly. I mean, I look at that rotation, and yeah, I think Stroman is a great addition. But then you have Nestor Cortez, you have Carlos Rodon, which is really 2 big question marks there, and obviously Garrett Cole, and then you have Clark Schmidt. So if you take Cole out of the equation, you're in a situation where you have 2 guys who combined to pitch maybe 120 innings last season. You don't know if they're going to stay healthy. Obviously, Carlos Rodon did not have his fastball last year. I am not confident in that rotation, and rotations win championships. In addition to that, I do look at that bullpen, and I think about they do need somebody like Wandy Peralta. They got rid of Michael King. I know there are rumors about them going after Hector Neris from the Astros. I think he would be a great get for them. I just don't feel confident enough, based on what we saw last year, them going 82 and 80, that they were able to make up that much ground.
Yeah, I mean, they were bad last year, and I know a lot of the circumstance, the injuries, and they're going to look at Judge or Stanton or LeMahieu. Those guys are back. Like the one big Marcus Stroman is okay. That's not a move that's going to really upgrade your ball club. He's, as you said, Bryan, like a 3 or 4 in the rotation. Yeah, Juan Soto's a superstar, and he is going to help, especially if they do get back to the postseason, which is something they've been lacking. But they got to get there, and without Judge or Stanton or LeMahieu, the way that this lineup is currently constructed, they're not getting to the postseason, so they still are relying on the guys who failed them last year, not to mention, by the way, the bullpen and the rest of the rotation behind Garrett Cole. Speaking of the bullpen, let's make the call to our bullpen and welcome in Jim Duquette. Jim, have the Yankees done enough this offseason coming off an 82-win playoff-less year?
Man, I feel like I'm with more of the consensus there than Bryan in terms of, with the Yankees. I have some serious concerns with the rotation like you guys do. And I think because of that, there's even more question marks with the bullpen, not just because of the guys that aren't returning. And Peralta, I think, is a huge factor there that they need to have back. But Neris, I think there's 1 or 2 other bullpen pieces. They're going to have to get some length, not just Luke Weaver, who's been a struggle, has struggled at the major league level here recently, to give them the innings that I think they're lacking there. I mean, Stroman also hasn't given you many innings as well. So, I think the second most innings on that staff right now so far is Clark Schmidt, right? So I have concerns there. I like their offense maybe a little bit better than you, Sal. I do worry a little bit about Rizzo coming back, from the health issue, but I feel like he's a guy that, is a proven commodity, and, with a full season, the concussion behind me should be better. So I think, I talked to Sean Casey recently. He was there. He thinks LeMahieu is going to have a bounce back year. I do too. There are indications just, some of the health issues are a little bit further behind him. So, if he's healthy, that first 6 guys in the lineup is a lot better than what we've seen out of the Yankees in the past. So, maybe not as much of a concern there offensively, but definitely on the pitching side, big concerns.
And also, we thought the Yankees were going to go big game hunting. That went after Yamamoto. They came up short there. They made an offer for Blake Snell, which I don't know if it offended him, but he basically dismissed it. Where are we at with the Yankees in their pursuit, Jim, of Blake Snell or Snell's market overall?
Well, I think Snell's market right now is still really high. And I think that, it gets a lot of attention that the Yankees made a significant offer and weren't able to get him. And I think that, there's a feeling when you get to the middle of January that the price might come down. It's not. It's still at a very high level. There's still plenty of teams out there that need him, including the Giants, although the Giants keep saying they're not in. The Angels certainly need him. We know the Cubs. There's been rumors about the Red Sox and Phillies. There's no real certainty right now, but you never bet against Scott Boras in these type of situations. And as soon as the price starts to come down a little bit, then there'll be other teams that'll jump in too that need starting rotation pieces. So, I think that teams that maybe we'll call it lurking, waiting for that price to come down. I think it's a bit of I wouldn't sit there and expect that price tag is going to come into a price zone that you're looking for, because Boras usually uses that against you to get the number that he's looking for, which is high 100s or even $200 million.
Yeah, I just feel like the Yankees are at least one more big piece away this offseason from putting together a really good offseason going into the year. We're drawing a blank. The Yankees are a blank place team right now in the AL East. Laura?
I'm going to be optimistic, and just being optimistic, I would say second place. I mean, I look at the Orioles, they're young and they're hungry. I think maybe the Rays are they're going to taper off a little bit. But I also look at the Yankees lineup, and I say an optimistic second place because I look at some of the aging hitters that they have in that lineup and how many times that they've been hurt last year. And they're going to probably get hurt again. You have to take that into consideration. Add to that the issues with the rotation, the issues with the bullpen. If they don't add anything else, yeah, second place, probably third maybe.
I'm with Laura. Second place sounds about right to me. I figure, look, if we flash back a year, none of us were saying the Yankees were going to be an 82-win team. I think they will be better than that. The trade for Soto, the other moves they've made makes them better. I could see them being 10 games better. If you put them in at 92 wins, I think that's good enough for second place. I think Tampa Bay is going to fall off a little bit. Let's put some respect on the Baltimore Orioles. They did win 100-plus games. So I think the Orioles are now, again, still the team to beat in the East, but the Yankees have done a little bit here to close the gap.
Yeah, I think they've done a little bit to maybe move up the ranks in the standings. I'm going to have them as third right now. Remember, fourth last year. I don't know who's going to finish second necessarily. I think Baltimore will finish in front of them and then pick either the Blue Jays or the Rays again and finish in front of them. They need more. They were an 82-win team a year ago. I don't believe Rizzo, LeMahieu, and Stan are all going to stay healthy and have bounce-back years, and that's if Judge stays healthy for a full year. Plus, I don't love their pitching either. So right now, I would say third-place team. Jim, where do you have the Yankees? They're a blank-place team in the AL East.
I have them third, too, with you, Sal. But, I can see them being second, if they add another piece or two. But right now, I think that I'm not going to discount Tampa. Every year, every other year, it seems like people discount Tampa. It's not their year, and they end up overachieving, end up mid-90s or higher in win total. And I can't disregard what they've been able to do in their success year in and year out. So I think it's Baltimore and then Tampa. Toronto's a flawed team to me. Their offense has been brutal. They haven't done anything. They've lost Chapman. They need to add at least two bats in my mind. I think their starting rotation and bullpen is better than the Yankees. I think they're going to be battling it out for third as I see it right now.
Yeah, I felt like at the core, the Yankees needed a significant change after last season. And even though Soto's a megastar, and you're not going to argue that move, I don't think the other changes have been significant enough to leapfrog the rest of the teams in the AL East.